I didn't see it as a challenge because I was ignorant. But there were few people who was coming and telling me, hey, why is not listening to you? Why is not taking commands? I took an permission from the receptionist to play him drums. So he was playing drums. He was playing songs from Cocomelon, etc. So inside, one of the teacher came and he saw him for 5 minutes, and he told, your son is a genius. So that was the first acknowledgement for him. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Before any diagnosis, before the fear, before the questions, there was hope. There were dreams. There was a newborn placed in your arms. When a child's journey turns out to be different from what we imagined, it can shake us deeply as parents. A diagnosis of neurodivergent child doesn't just affect a child, it transforms the entire family. And today, I want to discuss with you from the birth of Vedant.
I'm extremely happy that you're here today to explain Vedant's journey through the difficult situation of diagnosis of a neurodivergent condition. I hope the inputs from the parents about this condition will be beneficial to many parents who are facing a similar situation in their life. A journey, how to cope up with it, what to expect, the difficulties, all will be a great understanding for you all. Welcome you all to this program. I'm so happy you are here. Could you tell me right from the beginning what has happened? Can you start from his birth and what you have gone through?
I myself, Vaidi. As we stand today, I am a proud father of a 6-year-old son called Vedant. He was born in 2019 March. Normal delivery. During birth time, we didn't have any findings. So until March 2020, until the COVID hit, we were looking at him as our next gem, usual parenting, happy days, etc. We went to India for a function of him completing his first year birthday. We usually do a ceremony back in India, and we got stuck in COVID.
Okay.
And the next 6 months was very beautiful for Vedant, though it was not for us sitting in a single room because he was with his grandparents.
Oh.
Vedant started talking in Tamil, which is not today. I will tell you the complete history to it. He started conversing with his peers, his similar kids, playing with so many people, and he was so happy. And we were in India for almost 6 months. And after that,
So he would have been 18 months?
18 months. We got our first flight back to Dubai, and Dubai was still back to work after COVID, but still families were very, very hesitant to make the kids play around. I mean, even if we meet with masks, etc. So play dates were not happening at all. And it was a crucial juncture, which we know now after like 3-4 years, that 18 months to 36 months is a crucial part of development for any kid, be it speech, be it language, be it cognitive, be it vestibular or anything. And we just left him because he's a kid, right? I mean, we were busy in work. And the next 6 months, I think he digressed in terms of development, which we didn't know.
Could you tell me what all he could do at 18 months? What are his capabilities, like development-wise? What all things could he do at 18 months?
He was able to walk. When he came, he was able to, listen to the instructions, jump, play. Any 18-year-old would do.
18-month-old.
18 months, and he was able to express in his own mother tongue.
Okay.
Naturally, like Amma, Appa, Tata, Pati, I want to do this, etc.
So, especially when you give a command like go and pick up a ball, like that, did he do everything that was being said? And what about his eye contact?
Eye contact was excellent.
Excellent.
He used to play with his grandfather, grandmother with eye contact, making some usual childish movements in his eyes, etc. So cute. We even still see it today, and we envy about it.
Imitations,
Imitations, yes.
Yes.
Making fun of the others, yes. Visual development. An 18-year-old kid, whatever he was supposed to do, he was doing it.
Okay.
Right. So once we came back from 18 to 24 months, I'm still not a doctor, still not a psychiatrist, but this is where I think things started getting back, which we realize it now because when we celebrated his second birthday, He was having a peer, but he was 3 years old, not 2 years old, and I can see a clear difference. Though it's a 1 year gap, I can started seeing differences. He wanted to be alone. He did not want to socialize. He was not. Connected to the environment when we celebrated his birthday. It was still COVID. We celebrated with only 5-6 friends, and I didn't see it as a challenge because I was ignorant. But there were few people who was coming and telling me, "Hey, why he is not? Listening to you. Why he is not taking commands?" And people use this common terminology because as a cat, right? Not as a complaint or anything. He's in his own world. So this labeling started coming to my son from
2 years.
From second year onwards, right? And then we put him in nursery. In nurseries we had a good observation. That is good in terms of understanding to the classes. Like for example, he started reading at the age of 2.
Okay.
We did not teach him phonics, and he was able to give results on phonics, etc. So the nursery was also confused. Okay, this guy is giving results, but not speaking.
Yes, this is what happens. People think that these kids are intellectually subnormal. With a neurodivergent child, commonly placed in the autistic spectrum disorder, many of them have fully normal intelligence or even more. They just have difficulty in communication with gestures and in speech.
Speech is a first line of defense. I still feel blessed. There are still kids at the age of 5 years, 6 years who is yet to talk. Is this journey God gave me, which can be overcome through certain interferences like speech therapy, occupational therapy. But for me, that 24 to 36 months, I was able to consciously tell me that something is wrong with him. Though as a parent, I will not accept. Right at that age,
I
what is wrong in it? It's a usual sense of any Asian parents, right, to check with their parents thing. And when I spoke to my mom about that, he's not talking. People are telling that he's having some issues, etc. During this 24 to 36 months, and people also different from grandparents' perspective. Hey, you spoke at means I spoke at only at the age of 5.
Okay.
I didn't speak until I finished UKG itself. So and we said okay, it will get normal, etc. Then one day we were called by the nursery, and the head of nursery was very very calm and polite in telling us, hey, I see a challenge. He is not communicating, he is not expressing his needs, and he is not having attentions in the class. This was a very clear. We also have an ego within us. Nothing is to our child.
Yes.
Why I need to go for diagnosis test? Why I need to do this? So we took a call again, myself and my wife, to send him back to India. To maybe he will develop again when he goes there, stay with grandparents for a couple of months and see. But nothing worked out. Okay, he is in fact still digressed after we going there, and then we reached age of 3.
And if I may interrupt, what about the screen time during this?
It was high.
It was high.
And we didn't know about it.
Especially, I think after the 18 months and COVID, when you were kept inside
the house.
Yes.
Screen time plays a major role in development. I went through this journey, still a good journey to go. Whenever I see parents giving mobiles, I go and tell them, "Boss, please don't give. Talk to your kid. He will cry for 1 or 2 times and then it will settle down." I did that mistake. Whenever I see parents, I go and tell them, at least outside of your house, don't give mobiles.
Which is a great message that I also want to tell my parents, the kids, that you should not give. And coming from you, I'm sure it will have more effect.
For sure.
Than even coming from a doctor.
For sure. For sure. Even now, his screen time is restricted to 45 minutes today.
He's 7 years.
He's
now.
6 and
6.5.
It's 45 minutes, strictly 45 minutes, and this will make a huge difference. You remember in our childhood, our grandmothers used to sit with us and tell about historical stories.
Yes.
All those are gone.
Yes.
It's completely
the
gone.
The joint family also had an effect.
Also had an effect.
Because there were children to play with and everybody. They had so much of stimulus from different people.
Correct.
Coming in, which was wonderful for the child.
Correct. So these all had challenges, and we reached age of 3. Because he was in India, and again I wanted to celebrate the birthday there. This time COVID was not there in India. I wanted to bring so many people. Though he was still not talking, but there are some symptoms from outside look. People will not be able to judge him that he's in the spectrum or is he neurodivergent, he has speech delay, or whatever it may be. So we confidently called all of the people, and one of the my wife's cousin called us after the event, and he told that yeah, I have some observations about your kid. Certain symptoms, right? Again, he's not a doctor, but these are all common things that we all should know when we bring up a kid. One, sitting tolerance. At the age of 3, a kid has to sit for 20 minutes, right? And transition governance. For example, if he is doing something, give him something if he doesn't like. He has to cope up to it. That's all developmental related stuff. And he said that he needs to get assessed fully. Do it now, because early interventions are best. In fact, he told us that I am not a doctor. He may be autistic, he may be ADHD, or he may be anything that comes in the spectrum, but get it assessed, right? And again, as parent, we did not agree to it, but in my heart, I thought this time I should do it. So I came back. So first thing I did is, even before my wife and my son came, I took the next day flight. And I came here and I got some referrals. I was referred to a center in Sharjah. It's all about economies at the end of the day, right? So I choose Sharjah because of economy, but there are good centers in Dubai also who do this assessment. I picked up Sharjah because I already had somebody who went through this journey who told me that go and get assessed, etc.
This is one main thing, I think. The parents support each other who have gone through this journey can help.
It's very, very helpful.
Yes.
I always tell parents, accept the deficit. You will see a difference.
Yes.
Even today, whenever I see any kids who has missed all these therapies, and I can see them at the age of 10 years and 11 years, not able to, re-energize them properly, self-regulate properly, which is a clear miss. We have missed it, right? As subconsciously we have missed it. But if you accept, okay, there is something I need to fix with my child, nature gives you away.
Yeah.
That is what my experience says actually. And we went to the assessment, and that initial entry of that center, looking at other kids. There are so many instances. My wife have literally, I also cried, but she would have felt, right? Did I give birth to somebody? Who's not supposed to come right in the world, right? So that's a guilt. So my wife always hesitated to come there, not because she didn't want to solve her, but it's not easy as a mother to come and see. So I took the responsibility, or whatever shit it is, we will just deal with this. So after 5 days of assessment, they told us that he's having developmental delays in speech, language, and cognitives. Right? We didn't know all of these things before. So that center told us to focus on speech and language, because the moment you get your speech and language as a first line of defense, remaining things we can solve for it later. That's an input from that doctor, but center to center differs. Some centers will say do speech OT, some centers will say do speech OT and ABA also, so that behavior things comes up. But at that point in time, because we had a reference from previous parent, we just thought we'll go with the speech. And we started seeing difference. I will not say no. Command taking started. Okay. One word expressiveness started. And then the school admissions came. Right. Obviously, he finished FS1 nursery. As a parent, we want to put him in the big school. No, FS2. Let's not do nursery. As a parent, we wanted to make him. So we went to the school admissions. And that's where I started seeing God's support there, right? So during the admission process, academically he cleared whatever they asked. So they also did not know that he had a thing. But I, as a parent, I declared that my son had a speech and language delay. He's going through therapies, etc. But I did leave him to the school. But I do know that he's struggling in the class, because he started showing his stress through biting his things, and class teacher used to write to me emails that he's not giving attention, he's roaming around, etc. So usually schools, they ask for something called as LSA, which is Learning Support Assistance, which as a parent, if I ask me today, I should have accepted it whenever school asked for it. But we fight. hey, school is asking for extra money, they can do this. But at the end of the day, we have actually gone through a good generation thing, right? Those days, teachers can be strict in the class. Teachers can have stronger tones.
Yes.
But nowadays we can't have those, right? So kids like this, if they have an extra teacher, right, or a kind of a human support to tell them, hey, teacher is telling this, just to give them to be connected in the class, etc. I did defer to that LSA support for almost 3 to 4 months, but after that I realized that my son needs it, because whenever I go and pick him, he will be roaming around in the class. So it is our responsibility to make him study. It is a bit more expensive than usual school fees, but I think when you accept it, God gives you a way to see what can be
So
done.
basically, to sit down and listen to him, he was walking around, not able to
Sit it.
Okay.
So because the moment you have these delays, right, you will have attention deficiency for sure. So now if you sort out speech, you will start seeing the other gaps, which is now attention. Then becomes behavior, where the kid did not able to understand, okay, somebody is teaching, I need to sit in the class for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But according to him, why I need to sit? So he picks up, and then slowly we understood, hey, we have to sort out his behavior.
So there was some amount of hyperactivity.
Hyperactivity started coming in. So then we also don't know what we did is right or wrong. School said put him into the ABA therapy, etc. So then when we thought, okay, instead of looking at Sharjah, let us look around in Dubai itself. We got a new center, again through some common references we went. They did a diagnosis, but center told he still needs speech. Okay, but I took a decision because I thought he started talking, by the way. So at the age of now 4, he started talking to me in couple of sentences he will speak. To teachers also he started, but still no social things were there. But his behavior went for a toss. So as a parent, when I thought when speech comes everything will be back to normal, the another thing opened up, which is his behavior. When I say behavior, how to behave in a public. For example, my son still stims. This is something I wanted to record and give a message to all neurotypical parent kids. Don't judge by the book of the cover, right? For example, we as adults, even today if we are tensed, we bite our nails, we shake our legs, we do the hair rotation, like stammering, like this kids also do.
Yes.
But maybe some kids run around, they'll just jump around, etc. But kids who has communication challenges, they do stimming. So stimming will be like this. That doesn't mean that he is not a normal kid. It is his way of self-regulation. This is a very, very tight phase for a parent, because already by the time he is 4.5 years old, established his credibility in the school, and he started going around. And now we get into something called as social rejection from common parents. I allowed son to participate in everything what the other kids do, whether it is dancing, so that he understands, right? So I allowed him to dance in the stage. Obviously, he was not able to process such a huge crowd. It was overwhelming for him, and he was stimming a lot. Okay, but school is very inclusive. They didn't say anything. Teachers didn't say anything. He didn't do harm to anybody, by the way, because he is doing it himself. Some of the parents commented. This is one of the example. Why do they send such kids to school? So I wanted to take this opportunity through this communication. Don't judge kids.
Absolutely.
And support them. Okay, we might never know, right? If somebody is doing stimming in public place, my only ask for help through this video is, if that kid is not hurting himself, nor hurting you, don't bother.
It's very important not to be judgmental in life, in every situation of life, and especially we should not be judgmental to kids.
I sincerely wanted to thank I think KHDA here, because their every year message to the schools is be inclusive. Be inclusive.
Okay.
Don't judge the kids.
Yes, they are aware, and they are much better than in other places. In fact, they are doing a lot of progressive steps being taken in the schools to bring these children back into the mainstream and community. Excellent work they are doing. They have a good understanding
and interest in the well-being of the kids. That's very appreciable.
Particularly for parents, which is 4.5 to 5.5, which is social relations. We will not be invited to, kids' dates, birthday parties, etc.
Birthday parties.
So luckily, we had a group of friends who accepted Vedanta's Vedant. Luckily, I think that was a God's blessing, etc. Even if their kids say something, they will say shut up.
Yeah.
So I think we were very lucky. I would only thank God for this, and we started getting this behavior therapy into the shape. And by the end of year 1, which is I think 5.5 years, by last year December, we were able to get his behavior to a shape. Okay. In between, we started seeing other his magical skills, right?
And just a question in between, that is now you were doing speech therapy?
And ABA.
ABA.
Yeah.
And school was helping?
School was helping with the LSA,
okay.
Right? In between, there are some good skills of Vedant, right? Let us talk about
yes,
it.
I know.
So, he started reading at the age of 2, and he was good in phonics, which nobody taught him. Okay. He was able to tell zeros, tens, and hundreds at the age of 3 in mathematics. So if you ask a 3.5, 4-year-old kid, let's say 140, they will say 140, but Vedant will say 140. So by default, concept of zeros, tens, and hundreds was already mine, right?
Yes.
And good in English. Good in phonics, good in reading. Reading is a very, very difficult task for kids, even for neurotypical kids. You will not know. The moment he reads a book, you can ask him questions even after 20 years. So he has a photographic memory. He will not forget anything in life. So we started celebrating those instances, gifts, etc. On the extracurricular, obviously your question on hyperactivity, right? He was a hyperactive kid, can't sit in one place. So we tried so many things. Swimming did not work out, karate did not work out, etc. So what happened one day is he started just drumming in the table some cinema songs randomly. He was able to make music out of it. And whenever we go to this group gathering, I told you, he was able to, based on the songs, he was able to make it. And one day, with whatever materials was available, he was trying to, complete a song. And that gave me an indication that he has a good auditory memory. He can replicate music, right? So as usual, as a father, I took him to so many musical centers, did not get a seat anywhere. I went from cheapest to the expensive ones. Ignorance on accepting a kid as kid, and I just left it. I said okay. Then one day what happened? Again miracle happened. So we were going through Burjuman. Vedant wanted to get into Melodica. There is a shop called Melodica, but it's an institute by itself, certified by London School of Music. So he went into it, and I told him, man, why do you want to go there? Anyway, maybe these people also will judge you. They will say, he said no, he wanted to play drums. So I said I took in permission from the receptionist to play him drums. So he was playing drums.
Noisy. Yes.
Playing drums. He was playing songs from Coco Melon, etc. So inside, one of the teacher came and he saw him for 5 minutes, and he told, your son is a genius. So that was a first acknowledgement for him. Sorry.
And then finally, when someone comes and accepts, it's a big achievement. It's a understanding that at the end of all our journey, difficult journeys, we should not give up. There is something still within them that we need to find and accept.
Once he's into the drums journey, he's already finished the grade 1 test with a score of 86 out of 100. And he was already grabbed Student of the Month a couple of times. So that's his area of interest
Yes.
as we stand today. And I didn't leave on swimming. So we somehow figured out that whenever we take him to parks and stuff like that, I felt that he was having issues on height. Okay, so not able to jump,
Okay.
not able to, he was having some fear. We went back to the center and I told him, was I'm seeing some difficulties because at the age of 5 you shouldn't have fear. You should jump, roll around. Why my son is not able to do it? Now I don't want to get into any physical handicap issues at this point in time.
Okay.
So we again did an assessment and we realized that his vestibular muscles, there is something called as visual motor integrations. Those things are still lacking. Then we started giving him OT also.
Okay.
So now all the 3 areas are covered, but it took some time. It's not that from day one somebody realizes put him in all the 3.
Yes.
My journey is like this. Maybe in others may
No,
be
it-
different also. So here also we had challenges. I will be upfront in declaring this. We had relationship challenges, right? Doesn't mean that we were always together, etc. But it was not an intent to fight. It just stress releasing.
Yes.
It just comes out of nowhere and triggers alpha. And I will be honest to accept that I went through therapies in this process, right?
Yes, the stress.
Stress, how to manage stress, how to not take things personally when others make a comment. At the same time, not to leave your son to support. People have helped me. There are a couple of psychiatrists I went through. I still go weekly once I do a touch point because sometimes it's overwhelming also,
Yes,
right?
it is,
So
it is.
I go through therapies. But my wife decided not to, but that was her choice. But I decided to go because it helped me a lot. And it gives me compassion, right? Do more.
Yes.
Do more. So I will still suggest, we are all adults. There are lots of online options available on therapies. We are not kids. Especially a lot of online options available from India at a cost-effective things.
Yes.
I think you can invest on yourself.
Yes.
A couple of ₹100
It
per
is
week.
needed. It is
It
needed.
really makes you a different human being.
Challenges are there in everybody's life.
Yeah.
It is in different forms.
Different forms.
It comes maybe as in the form of a child,
Yeah.
maybe as your parents, as your spouse, or in the workplace, or money, finances.
Money, finances.
So something is going to come in everyone's life, and is all at the end of it involves all of us. Right,
See, life is ups and downs.
Yes.
Now, my last 1 year with Vedant is actually very good. Of course, he's being supported. Now the therapies have come down drastically. He goes for speech one session, OT one session, and ABA we are completely stopped. So he recently received an award also from the school. He's a champion in terms of academic excellence, etc. Good things in terms of communications. He's very, very sharp, smart, but he has his own challenges, right? Still social things with similar age groups is not there, but I have come to an acceptance. I'm not going to force him. I want to give you a data point. By 2030, I don't know about the data here. See, US, they bucket it easily and they don't take it to the heart. Okay. So 20 years back, 1 out of 1,000 was neurodivergent. Okay, by birth, I'm telling. This is all incidental.
Yes.
I'm talking about birth. By 2030, we are looking at 8 out of 1,000. This is an exaggerated number. It's a 8x increase. Though still small when compared to 1,008, but we might never know that 992 is maybe during the development we'll be able to see. So I think first, I would not say advice, I'm still young in this journey. We might not know what is up there, but at least for the first 5-6 years of any kid's life, if you see a challenge, if you see a difficulty in your kid, go and solve for it. Whatever is your affordable way.
Yes, the first 7 years are meant to be very important for
Very
children.
important.
Very, very important. Whether you are neurotypical or neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent.
Because this is the age where they learn empathy, gratitude, everything. What that actually makes them in the future what they become.
Exactly.
That's one thing. And like you said, the increasing incidents. Personally, for my as a doctor, my journey too, I have seen this. prior to the era of
COVID.
or even screen.
Screen time.
Because I started practicing from 1997
Mm.
till 2008. Even I didn't have a mobile.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
and the kids, that not many have. Maybe
Yeah.
by 2010, everyone had. Even the TV was a little.
Little.
They didn't have programs like this and all these things.
Correct.
So if you look, the incidents had already started increasing in US,
Mm.
but not so much in our country.
Our country.
Okay.
Correct.
So there is this question of, does MMR, a lot of people will come vaccinations. So here I find these vaccinations were given even prior.
Mm.
But at that time we didn't find like we found after the onset of screen time.
Yeah. See, even I also had a belief. For example, so he had some vaccines here. He had some vaccines in India. I also went through the research. Then I was like, anyway, I'm going through. Let's go through it. So I didn't get through it, but there is a research now telling that vaccines are playing a major role.
Mm-hmm.
I think my suggestion to the parents is do a double click
Mm.
and see what this vaccine is all about. Have a discussion with your pediatrician openly, and then go for it.
Yes. And for the major life-threatening diseases, definitely take.
You should.
But to me, I will say, like MMR and things and all that, we have had the maximum effect I have seen has been after the screen time.
Yeah.
That is definitely there.
Definitely. And
Vaccinations.
single babies will take time to settle down.
Yes.
That allow them that time.
Right.
That is the another request. Don't put them into let's say a catching phase. Yeah, other kid is doing, you do it.
Yeah,
other
yeah.
kid is doing,
Comparison.
you do it. Comparison. It's
Comparison.
another challenge. We recently celebrated a birthday party in our camp, and you will not believe when I went and picked up the mic and he said happy birthday in the name of the kid, and I was like blown out. This is his way of expression. Maybe he decided not to dance with 100 people, but this is his way of telling his wish.
And even as adults, our choices must be respected.
Correct.
I can see the changes too. Like when I first saw
You saw
him.
him from at least from the third month or fourth month.
Yeah.
When you were in Marina.
Yes,
Right?
yes. And then afterwards, like, when he used to have difficulty coming to my OPD to examine,
Exactly.
from that stage to how comfortable he is now with me.
And he wants to talk to you.
Yes.
Yeah, whenever he gets hurt somewhere, call Dr. Sabita. I want to talk to her. So from there we have reached
And
here.
even the affection, he
Yeah.
genuinely shows affection. He wants to come and hug.
Yeah.
He wants to express his affection,
himself.
and I can feel it. And it's a connection.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
it. Yeah,
The
definitely.
moment you make a connection with him,
Yeah.
I think rest is history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even teachers have played a major role, I'm telling you.
Mhm. Every single person who comes into his life and and he gives it back.
He gives it.
He gives it back. It's not that these children cannot give back. They can.
He will
We
give
have
back with abundance. I
Yes.
have seen it.
Yes. And a lot of message for parents who are going through this. And I'm so happy you did this session because extremely happy that you have allowed me to record the journey. It will be very beneficial for a lot of parents who are going through similar situation. I'm very grateful to you and thank you very, very much.